In the past, I've talked about the God myth, and I've pointed out how theologians never tell us what God is, only what functions God supposedly performs, and God's supposed character, good or just, and of course we're never told whose version of goodness or justice we're talking about. So I think I have thoroughly exposed the God thing as a non-concept and as a myth. Now, I want to talk about the state. What is it? And when I say the state, I'm talking about local governments, I'm talking about federal government, I'm talking about this authority called the state, the supposed authority. Now, I'm often told that without this thing called government, without this thing called the state, that the world would break into utter chaos. There would just be, madness, and there'd be nothing restraining people from killing each other and all this craziness. It would just be, rioting in the streets. So obviously, if there's something stopping something that substantial from happening, it must exist, right? I mean, you would think so. So I want to ask you in this video, what is the state? What is it? What is the State-Trix? Now, I think it wise for us to go and really contemplate what the state is not. The state is not property, right? There is property said to be owned by the state. I have camped on property, and the cops have told me to leave that property. This is state property, sir. You can't camp here. Really? Can you bring Mr. State out so I can ask him permission to stay here? Of course, the cop would laugh because there is no state. It's a pure, utter myth. It's not even a concept. You can't conceptualize the state. And if you say that you can, I want you to make a video where you draw a picture of the conceptualization called the state. Now, the state is not a person, right? I mean, a judge is not the state, right? He is said to work for the state, be an employee of the state, or represent the state, but he is not the state. A cop is not the state. He is said to be an enforcer of the state. He enforces the laws of the state, or she. But a cop, a police officer, is not the state itself. You can't point and go, there's Mr. State or Miss State, right? So the state is not a thing, right? It's not a building or a group of buildings or a group of people. Is the state a special class of people that have the right to rule others? Is that what the state is? I think not. Because every time you point out one of these individuals, oh, no, that's an employee of the state, or this person represents the state. Then I hear such fanciful madness as the state is, we are the state, we are the government, we the people. Really? Then why are there state laws, government laws, that go against the will of the people? So we are not the state either. If you go before a judge and he says, the state versus whatever your last name is, because you're there for a parking ticket or whatever, can you say, hey, I have the right to face my accuser. Can you please bring out Mr. State? Because you said I've offended him and I'm here and he's got a case against me. So obviously, where is this guy? He's going to laugh at you because the state doesn't exist. And yet he supposedly, along with the bailiff, along with the cops, supposedly get their authority to rule you and kidnap you and incarcerate you and imprison you and to tax and steal from you. They supposedly get all that authority from the state. So the state must exist, right? So where is the state? Where is it? The politician Obama, who's tried to push by legislation to eternally detain and even kill people without trial, execute them without trial, all in the name of terrorism. He supposedly gets his authority from the state. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So where is the state? If people are supposedly getting their authority from it, where is it? It reminds me of, the rabbi, the priests, in the Jewish Tanakh, who supposedly, they got their authority from God. But we're never told what God is. We're told what God supposedly does, right? But we're never told what God is. It's the same thing with the state. These special elect individuals supposedly have, these powers, these legitimate authorities over you because they supposedly get their legitimate authority from the state. So then where is the state? I mean, I think it's really redundant that I'm asking this over and over and over, but I really want to know the answer to this question because I think I already know the answer to the question, and that is that the state is just one more dirty myth. It's a blinder that has been pulled over your eyes to enslave you, just like the God myth. The truth is, no one has the right to rule another person, even if they say they're doing it in the name of the state, whatever the fuck that is supposed to be. And if you say different, if you say the state exists and that these people get their legitimacy from the state, then I want to know what the state is. I want you to tell me what it is, not what it supposedly does, not whether it's supposedly good or just. I want to know what it is. It's ontos. It's ousia. What is the state? But the truth is, I think that the state does not exist. It is one more dirty, dangerous, destructive superstition designed to control the masses, to control you, to steal your freedoms, your money, your time, and your energy, and to turn it all into power. To those who love power and are corrupted by it. With that said, think for yourselves. Don't die.